Hi friends, in my previous video I explained about working of battery and how it is going to be discharged, and at the same time we'll learn the concepts like Ohm's law, limitations of Ohm's law and uses of Ohm's law. And our next topic is resistance. So now in this class I am going to explain about resistance. Denoted with R. So this is today's topic, and including this resistance I am also going to explain about what are the factors affecting the resistance, and I am going to explain 4 activities regarding the factors of resistance. So first we will see what is meant by resistance. So resistance is always it always try to oppose the flow of current. So resistance is a nature of conductor. It always try to oppose the flow of free electrons. So why it is going to oppose the free electrons means according to the molecular arrangement inside the different substances. For example, if we consider a copper wire, so we are going to consider one copper wire. So if we consider the molecular arrangement inside the copper wire, so here we have positive atoms like nucleus. Already we know that copper is a good conductor of electricity, so it has large number of free electrons. So we will find more number of free electrons. So here, if we connect the battery to this copper wire, potential difference is created around the wire, then all the free electrons are moving in a particular direction. So that means they are moving towards positive terminal. Why? Because they have negative charge. So all the free electrons are moving in this direction. So when the electrons are moving in this particular direction, these electrons are collides with atoms. So these atoms, when they are traveling in the forward direction, so these free electrons collides with this particular remaining atoms. So due to these collisions, electrons are going to lose their energy, and the drift velocity of the electron is going to be decreased. So that's why the flow of electrons will be obstructed due to the presence of these atoms. So this abstraction of atoms to the flow of free electrons or its current is nothing but resistance. So now I am going to explain what is meant by resistance. Definition of resistance. Resistance is a nature of conductor. It is a nature of conductor. It always try to oppose the flow of free electrons or current. So that is nothing but resistance. And from Ohm's law, we have an equation V equal to RI. So from this equation we can write R equal to V by I. So this is the equation to find resistance. So from this equation also we can define the resistance. So simply resistance of a conductor is a ratio between potential difference and current. It is a ratio between potential difference and current of a conductor. So the ratio between potential difference and current is also known as resistance. Its resistance. And next thing we are going to learn about units of resistance. What is the SI of resistance? Units. So if we consider the units of resistance, the SI unit of resistance is ohm. We will measure the resistance of a conductor in ohm. So the symbol sigma, it is denoted with sigma. So now how can we define ohm means? From this equation we can write ohm. Resistance is measured in ohm, and V is nothing but potential difference. So what is the SI unit of potential difference? Volt. We will measure the potential difference in volt. And I means current. Current is measured in amperes. So in this way we can define ohm. So 1 ohm equals to 1 volt by ampere. 1 ohm is a ratio between 1 volt by 1 ampere. So that this is nothing but SI unit of resistance, and that is a principle to find resistance, and ohm is the SI unit of resistance. So 1 ohm equal to 1 volt by 1 ampere. And our next topic is factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. Factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. Factors of resistance. Right. So resistance of a conductor basically depends on four factors. So their first one is length of the conductor. And second one is cross sectional area. Of the conductor. And third one is nature of the material. Of the conductor. And fourth one is temperature of the conductor. So these are the four factors. They shown their effect on the resistance of the conductor. So their first one is length of the conductor, cross sectional area of the conductor, nature of the material of the conductor, and last one is temperature of the conductor. So now I am going to explain the relation between all these factors with respect to resistance with the help of four activities. So these activities are most important regarding your annual point of view. So first we will see the relation between resistance and length. Relation between resistance and length of the conductor. Right. To study the relation between resistance and length of the conductor, so we require some materials. So what type of what materials we require means, first of all we are going to study the relation between resistance and length of the conductor. So that means, so for that sake we have to consider two conductors. They should be made up of same material. So like they should be made up of same material means we have to take the two conductors, two wires of copper. They should be made from copper. But and that too they should have same thickness. They should have same cross sectional area. So, but they should have different lengths. These conductors should have different lengths. So these are the materials, and we require one cell and connecting wires and one switch and one ammeter to study the relation between resistance and conductor. So we have to arrange all these materials as shown in the circuit diagram. So first of all, I am going to construct the circuit diagram. So this circuit diagram consisting one cell and the next switch or key. So here we should leave some gap here, space, empty space. It is considered as AB. Next we should connect the ammeter. So ammeter is used to measure the flow of current. So in this way we have to construct one electric circuit. So in between this gap, in between this AB, we have to arrange the two wires. They should have different lengths. That is what you should remember here. So this is the Y1 of length 5 centimeters, and this is a Y2 of length 10 centimeters. This is sample 1 and this one is sample 2. Right. So these are the required materials and arrangement of all these materials. This is shown clearly in this particular circuit diagram. So next what we need to do is, first I am going to place this 5 centimeters wire. This is a sample 1 in between the gap AB, and we have to close the switch. The switch is closed and current will flow here. Current will flow in the circuit. Then what we need to do, after few seconds we need to measure the reading of ammeter. So from that we will get the reading of current. So and we need to write all these observations in the following table here. So this table consisting of 4 columns. This is serial number, and next wire, here we will write wire 1, and wire 2. So we have to repeat the same process with, we have to remove this wire and place the second wire. Again we need to note down the reading of ammeter. So here ammeter reading of ammeter in amperes. Sorry, instead of this one, okay, we will consider the same thing here. Reading of ammeter. That means current. So next, by placing wire 1, for example, we are going to consider the values assumption. According to the assumption, if the wire length of the wire is 5, when the length of the wire is 5 centimeters, the reading of ammeter is like that 1 ampere. So by removing the first wire and placing the second wire, again we are going to see the reading of ammeter here. The reading of ammeter is nothing but, so if you place the second wire means its length is 10 centimeters. So the length of the wire is going to be increased here. So but in this case we are going to observe that the reading of the ammeter is 0.5 amperes. 0.5 amperes. So these are the readings we are getting by changing the wire. In case of 5 centimeters wire, the reading of ammeter is 1 ampere. In case of 10 centimeters wire, the reading of current is 0.5 amperes. So what we are going to observe here, in case of 5 centimeters length, current is more. So here we are considering current is more. So in case of 10 centimeters, current is decreased. So we are observing the decrease in current. So when why the current is going to decrease here? Here we are going to use the same wires, same wire we are using, and the cross section area and thickness also same. But what is the difference between two wires? Only length. So here, in case of wire 1, length is less. So in case of second wire, length is more. So here already we know that one, resistance is inversely proportional to current. So that means again one more column we are going to consider here. So here the reading of current is more. So that means resistance will be less. So here reading, here the flow of current is less. That means resistance is more. So now just try to observe last two columns. They give a relation between length and resistance. So here when the length is decreased, resistance will be less. When the length is increased, resistance is more. So from that what we can observe, resistance is directly proportional to length of the conductor. So that is the relation between resistance and length. So this is the conclusion of this lab activity. Resistance is always directly proportional to length of the conductor. So why the resistance is going to be increased when the length of the conductor is increased, when the length is more? So here more atoms are presented in the copper wire. So with respect to the length, the number of atoms are going to be increased. So due to the increase in number of atoms, more number of collisions take place between the free electrons and atoms which are presented in the conductor. So as the number of collisions are going to be increased, the speed of electrons will be reduced. So when the speed, once the speed is reduced, means what is the meaning of reduction in speed? So resistance is more. So that is the conclusion. That's why when the length of the conductor is increased, when the length of the conductor increases, with respect to the increase in the length of the conductor, its resistance also increases. So what we can write, resistance is directly proportional to length. So this is the relation between resistance and length. Resistance is directly proportional to length. So this is the relation between length and resistance. So now I am going to explain the relation between second factor. So this is the relation between resistance of conductor and cross sectional area. Resistance of the conductor and cross sectional area. Right. So to study the relation between resistance and cross sectional area of the conductor, we have to repeat the same thing as we learned in the previous activity. First, further say we need to change the wires what we considered in the previous activity. So here further say, so we should consider the two wires. The first wire should have less cross sectional area, and second wire should have more cross sectional area, right? But remaining things will be constant. So that means they should be, the wire should be made up of the same material like copper, and they should have same length. But what is the difference here? They should have different cross sectional areas. So this one is considered as 1 and this one is considered as sample 1 and sample 2. Again we should construct the same circuit as we discussed in the previous activity. So A and B. Again I am going to construct one cell. So here switch and ammeter. So again in observation we need to construct the same table here. Serial number. So here Y1 and Y2. So reading of ammeter, that means current, and next we need to write the values of cross sectional area, and last one is resistance, right? So first in the previous like the previous activity, first of all we have to place the sample 1 wire 1 in between the gap AB, right? Again what we need to do, we have to close the switch, then current will flow in the circuit, you know that one very well, and observe the reading of ammeter. Then from the reading of ammeter we will note down the reading of, we have to note down the reading of current. So note the reading of current in the given table for wire 1. So in case of wire 1, cross sectional area is less, and for example if you place the wire 1, the reading of ammeter will be like this, it is 2 amperes. Just we are assuming that. And next here we have to remove the wire 1 and place the second wire here. It has more cross sectional area compared to the wire 1. So again close the switch, note down the reading of ammeter, and write the value of current reading in the given table. So in this case area is more. So when the cross sectional area is more, means the reading of the ammeter will be more. So that means it becomes 4 amperes. So now we have to guess the values of resistance here. So in case of wire 1, current is less. So when current is less means resistance is more. And here also. So here reading of the current is more. So that means resistance will be less. So leave it everything, just try to consider the relation between cross sectional area and resistance. So from this box it is clear that resistance, when the resistance is more, cross sectional area is less. When the resistance is less, cross sectional area is more. So from that part we can write resistance is inversely proportional to cross sectional area of the conductor. So that is the relation between resistance and cross sectional area of the conductor. So why the resistance is inversely proportional to cross sectional area? So why? Because so when the cross sectional area is more, so there is more gap is there. So when the gap is more, when the space between the atoms is more. So when the empty space is more between the atoms, the free electrons will drift easily. So the speed of the electrons will be more. So that's why resistance is less. So when the cross sectional area is less, gap will be very small. Less gap is there. So due to the less gap, there is a chance to more collisions between atoms and electrons. So here when the gap is less, when the cross sectional area is less, more number of collisions are going to take place. So that's why resistance is more. So when the gap is more, less number of collisions are going to take place. So that's why here resistance is less. So that is the reason. That's why resistance is inversely proportional to cross sectional area. So that is the relation between resistance and cross sectional area. So now I am going to write the relation here. Resistance is inversely proportional to cross sectional area. So these are the two factors and their relations are explained by me. And next one is nothing but relation between nature of the material of the conductor and resistance. Relation between resistance and nature of the material. Relation between resistance and nature of the material. Right. To study the relation between resistance and nature of the material, so we have to consider the same electric circuit as we discussed in the previous activities. But here what we need to do means we should take the two metal wires. They should have same length and same cross sectional area. These two wires which we consider in this, which we are going to be considering this activity, they should have same length and same cross sectional area. But they should be made up of different materials. So for that say wire 1. So this is the wire 1. It is made up of copper, and we are going to consider wire 2. It is made up of aluminium. So we are going to consider the two wires as samples to study the relation between resistance and nature of the material. So wire 1 is made up of copper, wire 2 is made up of aluminium. But these two wires, they are having same length and same cross sectional area. So now we are placing wire 1 between AB. So that means copper. Again, what we need to do here, we have to close the switch. Note the reading of current with the help of ammeter. So for that observation, again I am going to draw the table. So this table is slightly different from that one. Wire. So here copper, and what we consider here aluminum. So next what we need to do, we need to note down the reading of current. We don't require this third column. 2 columns are enough for this. Right. So if we use copper wire, suppose the reading of ammeter, that means the reading of ammeter is nothing but current reading is 5 amperes. We are reading 5 amperes. So next what we need to do, remove the copper wire. Before that, open the key, and we have to place aluminium wire in place of copper wire, and close the key. After few seconds, again note down the reading of current from the ammeter. So in this case, we are getting 3 amperes. We are getting 3 amperes. So what do you understand from this activity, from this observation table here? In case of copper, 5 amperes of current is flowing in the circuit. In case of aluminum wire, 3 amperes of current is flowing. So why the current is going to be decreased here? We are using the two wires, they are having same length is same, and their thickness of cross sectional area is also same. But why the current is going to be changing here? In first wire is made up of copper atoms. Second wire is made up of aluminum. That means it consisting of aluminum atoms. So in case of copper, current is more. That means, again we are writing the relation between current and resistance. So when the more amount of current is flowing means resistance will be less. So less amount of current is flowing means resistance is more. So from these observations, what we can conclude here, if the nature of the metal is going to change, according to the nature of the material, the resistance of the conductor also changes. For example, if we use one more wire, tungsten, if we consider tungsten, it is an alloy, we will get one more reading here. So it is around 4 amperes. So again, current value is going to be changing. So as long as if we change the metals, the current value is also changing. So what is the reason behind that one is every metal having different type of atoms. Copper consisting copper metal having copper atoms, aluminum having aluminum atoms. So due to the different atoms, structure of atom is also going to be changing. The arrangement of atoms also going to be changing. Due to the change in arrangement of atoms, the number of collisions are different in different metals. So due to the change in number of collisions with respect to their own metals, its resistance also going to be changed. So that's why resistance is depends on nature of the material. So that is a relation between nature of the material and resistance. Okay friends, now we will see the relation between resistance of a conductor and its temperature. I am going to explain the relation between resistance and temperature of the conductor. To study the relation between resistance and temperature of the conductor, we require some materials. So we require one electric bulb and multimeter, connecting wires. These are the required materials. And we should connect all these electric components as shown in this circuit diagram. So now I am going to construct the circuit diagram. This is the circuit diagram of this circuit here. In this circuit, we are considering one electric bulb. These are the terminals of the electric bulb, and we are connecting the electric bulb to the cell. And next, we have to arrange the key. And so this is regarding the circuit. And here additionally we should connect the multimeter. So this is considered as a multimeter here. I will explain regarding the multimeter now. So first of all, we need to know about the multimeter. Right. So multimeter is an electric device. It is helpful to measure the current, potential difference as well as resistance. With the help of multimeter, we can measure the current, potential difference and resistance of the circuit. So here in this particular experiment, we are going to use a multimeter as ohm meter. Multimeter as ohm meter. So first, before connecting the multimeter to the electric bulb, we should change the mode of multimeter into ohm meter. Then it can measure the resistance. So in this way we have to construct the electric circuit. So here this one is cell. So this cell is connected in the circuit here in the series. So we are not going to allow the current here. Here switch is in open position. So it is nothing but open circuit. As we know that in case of open circuit, current does not flow into the electric bulb. So when the current is not flowing through the bulb, we have to measure the resistance of the electric bulb with the help of multimeter when it is in the mode of ohm meter. We need to measure the values of resistance before sending the current. So for example, we are getting the reading like 1 ohm. So that is the resistance of the electric bulb when we are not sending the current to the electric bulb. That means when the circuit is open. So next what we need to do means just close the key. Now the current will flow into the electric bulb. So then due to the flow of current, the filament becomes hot. So the temperature of the filament as well as the electric bulb is going to increase. As we know that electric bulb converts electric energy into heat energy and light energy. So once the switch is closed, current will pass to the bulb and the filament, the temperature of the electric bulb and filament is going to be increased. So again we need to connect the multimeter. After a few minutes, we need to connect the multimeter to the terminals of the electric bulb. So again we need to measure the reading of ohm meter after sending the current. So here in this case, in the first case when the circuit is open, the reading is considered as R1. So when the circuit is closed, so the resistance reading is considered as R2. So it is observed that after a few minutes, the reading of the ohm meter and resistance of the filament or its electric bulb is considered as 1.5 ohms. It is observed that the resistance of the electric bulb becomes 1.5. If we measure the resistance resistance after few seconds, again it is going to be increased. So here we have to compare the resistance of the electric bulb before sending the current and after sending the current. So in which case the resistance of the electric bulb is more? In the second case. Second case means after sending the current, the resistance of the bulb is going to be increasing. So why the resistance of the electric bulb increases means, so in second case, by sending the electricity, the temperature of the electric bulb is more. So here the temperature of the electric bulb is more. But before sending electricity, in case of open circuit, the temperature of the electric bulb is less. So from this we can say that if we increase the temperature of any conductor, when the temperature of the conductor increases, so with respect to the increase in temperature of the conductor, its resistance also increases. So if we increase the temperature, resistance of the conductor also increases. So from this activity we can conclude that resistance of the conductor is always directly proportional to temperature of the conductor. So what is the conclusion here? Resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to temperature of the conductor. But what is the reason? What is the reason behind this one? So why the resistance of the conductor increases if we increase the temperature of a conductor? So it is very small reason here. So basically resistance of a conductor is depends on collisions. Number of collisions take place between the free electrons and atoms present in the conductor. So once when the temperature of the conductor increases, this heat energy is absorbed by the atoms as well as free electrons which are present in the conductors. So with the help of this heat energy, they gain some kinetic energy. The atoms which are present in the conductors are going to gain some kinetic energy. So due to this kinetic energy, they are moving with more speed. So due to this, more number of collisions are going to take place inside the conductor. So when the number of collisions are more, automatically they oppose the current with more strength. So that's why the resistance of the conductor is increased. Only simple reason here. So when the temperature of the conductor increases, more number of collisions take place between the atoms and free electrons of the conductor. So due to the more number of collisions, these atoms strongly oppose the flow of free electrons. So this opposition is nothing but resistance. So as the number of collisions increases, resistance of the conductor also increases. So final conclusion is nothing but resistance of the conductor is directly proportional to temperature of the conductor. So this is the relation between resistance and temperature. So by this we learned what is meant in this video. We learned about what is meant by resistance and all the factors of resistance with the help of 4 activities. Thank you everyone.